Today we're talking about meals, healthy meals, and how to design them and how to choose healthy foods. So, first strategy, number one, I'm not a nutritionist, so I am not going to be giving you any nutritional advice. I'm going to be sharing with you what I do and the strategies that I've found work for me. But the first thing that I would do, all right, the first thing that I do is I take a list of all the foods. These are all natural foods. These are things that grow from the ground or a tree or wherever, and they walk on the ground, all right? So they're natural foods. So we're gonna talk about vegetables, fruits, and meats, proteins. You're gonna have a list of those. So you're gonna have things like chicken, fish, beef, pork, the variations of all those different cuts of meats, and you can write them down. Bacon, okay, Canadian bacon, turkey, chicken, tuna, salmon. You just start writing down, all right, or you just look at a list of those things and you start circling the ones that you like. Okay, so for me, I'm not a very picky eater, so I like lots of different things. And so I vary and I switch up my proteins here and there. I tend to stick with a lot of chicken and fish. I also do as kind of like a protein, as like I can almost consider it a meat. It's not meat, it's a vegetable source, but tofu and tempeh. I like to eat some tofu and tempeh. I used to be vegetarian, now I'm not, but those are some things that I rotate in as well. I still eat red meat. I still have a steak every now and again. Sometimes I have some burger or whatever, but what I do is I have my staples. I'm going to share those with you, the things that I eat and I repeat, because I'm not picky. I eat the same things relatively frequently, just kind of repeat, rinse and repeat. So you got your proteins, then you've got vegetables, okay? So I'm going to talk about what I eat. There's also, I'll share with what I used to eat, where you can throw in a grain as well. But we're going to first start with vegetables. So you go through the list of vegetables and you start picking out the ones that you like. The ones that I like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, peas, carrots, bell peppers, onions, mushrooms. That's about it. Those are the things that I tend to eat. And I eat a lot of those. Okay, so I have what's called a Normandy mix that I get from Costco, and it's got broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. I eat that all the time. I get another mix that's peas and carrots. Lots of peas, very little carrots in there. I love that one. There's another mix with Brussels sprouts and peppers and onions. I get that one as well. So I also have started doing this riced cauliflower. So instead of rice, I got rid of grains out of my diet. So I don't eat rice or quinoa or millet or oatmeal anymore. I don't eat any of those. I used to eat all of those, but now I just, if I want to get maybe a rice fix, I'll do the riced cauliflower. And sometimes they've got different variations of that with peas in it or mushrooms or different vegetables, but I do that. So I've got my vegetables, I've got my meats. I'm not a picky eater, so I just go, okay, what's my vegetable going to be? Is it going to be the Normandy vegetables? Is it going to be the Brussels sprouts and the peppers? Is it going to be peas and carrots? And I have a big base of that. Maybe it's a salad. Maybe I like romaine lettuce. Okay, my salads are very bare bones. Romaine lettuce. Maybe I'll throw in some beets. All right, cook some beets and then chop that up. Throw that in there. I really don't put a lot into my salads. I might throw in some extra cooked vegetables into my salad. So I might have some Brussels sprouts and things like that as well. But really my salads are bare bones. I like to do the mix of the Brussels sprouts with the peppers and the onions as a base, and then maybe I'll throw some salad on top of that. So I'm always just kind of mixing things around, but I've got those simple vegetables. Now, whatever ones that you like, you circle, ones that you will eat and you'll repeat to eat, you have those, and that's kind of like your base. Now you've got the protein, and depending on your level of amount of protein needs, so if you're 200 pounds, we tend to want to get 1 gram per 1 pound of body weight. If you're strength training and you want to build muscle, that would be a good number. So 200 pounds, 200 grams every single day. Okay. If you're, 150 pounds, it's 150 grams every single day. But that would dictate how much. But I take the protein, whatever it is. I'm going to have my chicken. I got my vegetables. Let's just say in this case, it's the Normandy vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. I've got my big base of that, and I've got my chicken. And that's what I eat. I just eat it very simple. Now, how do I flavor it? This is where people get into a lot of trouble with dressings, and they try to make it taste a certain way. They put all these marinades and things on like that. Watch out for the hydrogenated oils, the seed oils, all those things. Okay, it's a big topic nowadays. Stay away from them. All right, they're just going to increase the omega-6s. And what I would do is look at things like, or places like, if you want a healthy option for some sort of dressing, is Dr. Furman. I'm going to link to these, and Primal Kitchen. These are places that you can get healthier versions of your same sauces, like a ranch dressing, but it's not going to have all of the crap in it. So you get the same flavor, the same taste, without basically the added sugar and the hydrogenated oils that we want to stay away from. At the end of the day, though, that's where you're going to have to watch out for a lot of the calories. The vegetables, very low in calories. A protein that's not been deep fried and breaded and gone through all this other stuff, it's going to have the protein and the fat that you want. So the stuff that gets you are the next thing. So if you can tolerate it, or if you really want it, that's where you get into like the grains. I used to have the vegetables, right? My broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots with maybe some chicken or some tofu or some steak. And then I would have some rice with it, okay? Then I would have some quinoa with it. So if you can tolerate that in your overall calorie needs or your carbohydrate needs, then go ahead, add that in there. MyFitnessPal is a great way to figure out how much you need. So you use a tool like MyFitnessPal so that you can understand how many calories, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbohydrate, how many grams of fat are in your meal, so you can kind of get a snapshot of that at each meal and throughout the day. So that's an app that you can use to track that if you're looking at losing, or even if you're looking at gaining. Even if you want to gain weight, you want to make sure that you're getting enough. You have to have enough calories. You have to be in a slight excess, and you got to make sure you get enough protein to be able to build. So that's an example of a meal. Now, because I don't have, it's like, you're like, JD, how many meals are you eating? Because that's so low in calories if you're just eating vegetables and proteins. If I'm not doing the grains anymore, I don't do my oatmeal in the morning anymore. I don't do rice. I don't do quinoa. I don't do millet. I don't do anything else. How do I get more extra calories? I've been putting grass-fed butter on everything, and fats like butter and olive oil and avocado oil and coconut oil, which are, those four are usually the only ones that you want to use. Those are going to be high in calories, high in fat, but just high in calories overall. So grass-fed butter is going to be a lot cleaner. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and coconut oil, and what was the last one? I think I just repeated myself. But anyways, those are the ones that you're going to want. They're going to have a lot of fat. For me, I need the calories, so I kind of load up on fat. I have a lot of fat in my diet, a lot of protein in my diet, a lot of fiber in my diet because of the vegetables. So that's my diet. Now, that for me that gets a lot of the taste of things. So I put that butter on there, put some sea salt on, and we're good to go. Now, if I want more flavor, I just use hot sauces, right? I love Cholula, and I just have a ton of different, there's all these different types. I got it off of Amazon, and there's the garlic chili, there's the habanero, there's the chipotle, there's all these different types. So I put some of that on there for flavor. I'm basic, I'm easy. But if you want more flavor, if you want more variety, Dr. Furman and Mark Sisson's got his Primal Kitchen. I'll link to those. They have great sides, seasonings, those types of things. And they have tons of recipes as well. Both of those websites have tons of resources. So for me, what I do is, again, I look at that vegetable list. I pick up the ones that I'm going to eat that I like. Now, you can also experiment and try different things. But for me, I know I'm going to eat certain things, and I have my routine, and I like it. So getting some meals, all right, getting like 5 meals together where you can chop and change, then you've got multiple meals. So for me, my meals, again, I gave you an example of the vegetable base and a protein. I can make with chicken, fish, I do tuna and salmon, okay? I do tofu or tempeh, I do beef, steak, I do a chuck roast. I'll put that in the Instant Pot. I'll do a chuck roast, a beef roast, and have that. So I've got different proteins that I can use. and I can use the Normandy vegetables. I can do peas and carrots with that. I can do the Brussels sprouts and the peppers. And so I can do different things. I can do a salad. So I've got several meals that I can make, and I can change them up. So if I get bored, I can change it up. I've got different sauces. I find certain sauces taste good, whereas like the garlic chili tastes really good with chicken, whereas the habanero tastes really good on the fish. So it's like there's different things that you can do to experiment. Again, I don't have all those answers. My palate is very bland. Like I can taste anything and it tastes good. So if you need more of that variety, use some of these creative people online like Mark Sisson and Dr. Furman to get some ideas and to give you that little bit more of a flavor. Another thing that I do is fruits. So you've got vegetables, you've got the meats and the proteins, and you've got fruits. I tend to stick with berries, so blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and what are the last berries? Cranberries. Those are the fresh cranberries, not dried, all fresh. Okay, those things I tend to mix up with nuts and seeds. That's another thing that I do. So I do in the morning, I'll have nuts and seeds. So I'll have some hemp seeds, walnuts. I just started adding in cashews, a little bit of peanut butter, and I throw in berries. So I'll throw in blueberries and raspberries or blueberries. I also throw in an apple. I can handle a little bit more of the carbohydrate load. Apple is actually a small apple, doesn't have a lot of carbohydrates anyways, maybe 20 grams of carbohydrates, something like that, 20, 25. So I'll do that and I'll mix that all up together. Maybe sometimes I'll put some honey in there as well, a very small amount of raw honey. So I mix all that up together. I cook 2 eggs, put that on top, okay, and I have a protein shake. Protein shake, that's another thing. Another way for you to get calories of protein, not the highest quality, but they're gonna be okay. I'll give you my suggestions in regard to protein. What I do Legion. It's just grass-fed whey protein, Legion. I can link to that as well. And then there's collagen protein that I get at Costco. So I kind of mix up when how I do my protein. But I usually do a protein shake in the morning with 2 eggs and the fruit and nut mix. Okay. Then I've got some other meals throughout the day, and then I tend to hit another protein shake with maybe a banana or maybe some dates. And those are the fruits that I eat: banana, dates, berries. Okay, then I've also got the nuts. For me, it's walnuts, hemp seeds. I do a couple Brazil nuts. That was suggested from my nutritionist for certain reasons. And peanuts, peanut butter usually is peanut butter. Cashews I started just eating. So I've got some variation in what I can do with those, but I tend to eat the same things every day. I make it simple on myself. That's what I do. Again, protein shake later, maybe post-workout. If I do a workout that day, I'm definitely gonna have a protein shake after, maybe with a banana, maybe with some dates. That's it. So for me, I'm very simple. I do the same sorts of things every day. Maybe instead of the protein shake and a banana, I'll do protein shake and an apple, okay, with some peanut butter. So I'm very simple, but if you can simplify the way that you approach it and have the base of the protein, okay, so in the case of my breakfast, it would be the protein shake, and then I've got my fats and I've got my carbs from the nuts and the seeds. There's some protein in that as well. And then I've got eggs as well. Now that's another way that you can do it. You can make a breakfast. You can take any of those meats, probably not the fish, but chicken you can use. You can use steak. You can use bacon. You can use pork. You can use whatever you want. And you throw in a couple eggs, right? Mix that all together. You saute the onions and the peppers, even the Brussels sprouts or spinach or whatever. And then you crack some eggs on top. Now you got a great little meal right there. If you want more carbohydrates, then you can throw in something like the potatoes, or you can throw in the rice, or you can throw in, I also got rid of beans out of my diet. So that was something else that I used to eat. I used to eat a lot of black beans and pinto beans and refried beans. I like the refried beans. They're just pinto beans with maybe some lard in there, okay? Not the healthiest, maybe, but for me, I got rid of those. So for JD right now, I just do fruits, vegetables, nuts, and meats and proteins, right? Like I said, tofu and tempeh. So I've got my different vegetables. I mix it up. Okay, today I'm gonna have some tofu, all right? The next day, I might have some chicken. The next day, I might have some steak, or I might buy a whole chicken, and that might take me a couple days to go through. Okay, I might do a chuck roast, and that might take me a couple days to go through. Okay, I've got protein powders and protein shakes that I can make for on-the-go quick things. I've got bananas and apples at the ready, and dates. I love dates. All these things, all right, you just start to use. Now you look at the fruit list. Okay, if you're trying to lose weight, you probably want to stay to the lower glycemic. So the berries, all right, the more sugary, higher sugar content ones, like maybe like peaches and pineapple and bananas, you might want to stay away from those. So again, I don't know where you're at in your goal, but getting yourself a base where you have options that you can use. And I just cook a bunch, so I have whatever, that's what I cook for the day. So I've got a bunch of Normandy with my broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots all cooked together. So, and I've got a chicken in there. So for lunch, I'm just gonna take that out, boom, boom, heat it up, and I'm good to go. Throw some chicken on with the vegetables, mix it all together, put some butter on it, right? Put some salt, I'm good to go. If I want some seasoning, I put some Cholula hot sauce on there, and I'm good as gold. So for me, I'm simple, but simplify it, and then you just start leveling up and you start switching it up. So that's a way that you can get yourself natural, healthy foods that are gonna give you the water, they're gonna give you the vitamins, the minerals, okay? And that's gonna allow you to feel full and feel satiated with the fiber and the protein. And again, you're watching how much dressing and things like that, because a little bit of olive oil goes a long way, because fat is very dense in calories. Same thing with the butter. That's why I put it on everything, because I need those calories, because the food that I'm eating, I don't do the rice, I don't do that, where there's a lot of calories in those foods and it's easy to eat. For me especially, I could eat a ton of rice, I could eat a ton of quinoa, and it doesn't give me as much bang for my buck with something like a piece of broccoli. So that's some healthy ideas for you. That's what I do. That's the way I would approach it. Get those lists, find lists. Just look up lists of vegetables. Start circling the ones that you like. Go to the store and buy them. Look in the frozen food section where you've got them, and then you just put them in, boom, boom, boom. All right, steam them up. There you go. So that's a way to get healthy meal options, and then you just start mixing and matching. And once you get 4 or 5 meals, then you've got all these varieties, because I can switch out one protein, I can switch out one a vegetable, and then we're good to go. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope that helped. See you next time.